is What the Health on FUBAR Radio with me, Georges Berthonneau. Joining me now is Stevie Ward. Stevie is a former Leeds Rhino captain and England international turned mental health advocate. He's also the founder of Mentality, a platform which helps men face mental health challenges with honesty and strength. Stevie, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Thank you for having me. Good, sir.
No worries. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. From a former rugby fan and player myself, absolutely love having you on here. So this is going to be a great one. How are you? Good?
I'm good, mate. Yeah, I'm good. It's been an incredible month, actually. I feel like I've been on not quite a world tour, but a UK tour and speaking and, just really loving what I'm doing post my rugby career. So
nice.
I'm good, mate, albeit quite a bit tired.
Yeah, I bet. Lots of travelling. Well, I mean, it might not be a world tour yet, but it is your first tour, is it?
Correct. I'd say,
Okay.
yeah.
Nice.
I'd say it's the first tour, yeah.
That's exciting. Right, okay. So what led you from rugby to launching Mentality in 2016? That's right, 2016, wasn't it?
Yes, good question. How deep do you want to go?
I want you to go as deep as you're willing to divulge.
Okay. 2016, mate, it was a big year. Obviously my career spanned quite a bit of time, but within that time there were some incredible highs. I was living my dream at 18 years old, playing at Wembley Stadium and Old Trafford, winning finals and playing against like the world club champions Melbourne Storm. And at the same time, though, in and around those incredible highs came some pretty desolate lows through long-term injuries. And then I think even harder to understand was not regaining my potential when I'd just come back from the injuries. That, for me, sort of shook my world a little bit. And I came back, got back playing and went, right, do you know what? This is it. I'm going to get through the adversity. I'm resilient. I'm going to get over it. This is what makes a champion. It happened again. I got another injury. It was 12 months and I was out with an ACL injury. And it was during that time where I was like, right, what is happening here? What am I doing? And why? Like, why am I doing it? And I think like within those questions, this sort of existential crisis, I think at 22 years old was like, what is it that helps us as men? What is it when we're feeling good? What comes through? What is it that, especially on the field, for how I get back and play well, how our team at times plays well, like where the commentators would watch us, and usually when we've smashed another team, they'd say, taking the shackles off for this one. I'm like, what is that territory that we're speaking to here?
Shackles off, yeah.
Yeah. And for me, it was like an understanding that it was authenticity, it was vulnerability, and it was these modes of living that I feel take the shackles off. And I launched Mentality at that time as a question, as a curiosity, and a mode of vulnerability to say, why do I feel like this? What's going on? I know we're men. I know we're tough, macho men, and we do probably one of the toughest jobs in sport. Yeah,
especially if you play league. Wow, that is a sport.
Especially when you play rugby league.
Yeah,
and it was really a sort of thing to say, well, what is it? Why are we doing it? And that was that question of vulnerability was a mission that I've been on ever since then with Mentality, and it was an online magazine, but now it's transformed into podcast and currently is me speaking to corporate teams, Warner Brothers, sporting teams, Southampton Football and the English cricket, so I believe performance and well-being can all exist together for men.
Yeah, that's huge. And it's also brave of you to put yourself in that position, because obviously, you've been through a lot with your rugby career, and obviously you're now out the other side, and it's, you're doing something good, which is, which is something you're clearly proud of as well, and you're quite excited about. How did your experiences with concussion change your perspective on mental health?
Well, I mean, I think for me, the concussion was something that obviously I still live with today, in terms of headaches and dizziness and vertigo. And having to manage my working life. As I say at the start, I've been really tired because there's been quite a lot of load I've gone through to make this thing work, to like to do what I'm passionate about, and it takes a lot out of me. And I think really the concussion has been something where I've just had to accept that life isn't as easy as A A gets to B, or the sequential nature of how we feel that life works. And I've just not been able to get fully better, and I hope to get better. But I've had to accept it and live with the concussion and live with the impact that it's had on my life. And ultimately, it's been another bout of adversity where I feel it tells me that surrender, in essence, is the best way to win. With what life can throw at us.
Yeah, and so why do you feel it was crucial to kind of tackle men's mental health stigma? Because obviously there's a big stigma about it still, in modern day society. Why did you feel it was crucial to kind of tackle this?
I think because the stigma is, in essence, the issue. I think the stigma is the thing which prevents us from being with life as it is. Like there's nothing wrong with being sad. There's nothing wrong with being angry. It's the resistance to the emotion,
Okay.
which you could say is stigma, which is the thing that causes the most issue. Like if we were to live as we are when we're children, and to allow emotion to pass through us as it does, and as if you spend any time around a 4-year-old or 5-year-old, you know that 10 minutes ago they were in absolute joy and bliss, and then currently they're in absolute in absolute sadness or rage or whatever it is. And so that the way that I see life is to allow it all to move through, and stigma is in essence a blockage to that. And what well-being, performance, and creativity is available without blocking it out.
Yeah, and with Mentality's mission, how would you describe in one sentence Mentality's mission?
Wow, that's an amazing question.
Or if it's not a sentence, a little bit more is, in a brief summary, what is the aim? What are you wanting to truly achieve?
To allow men to realize that mindset is the first point of address when it comes to well-being and happiness.
Yeah, I love that.
That's what I would say. Yeah, it's all of it is in the way we think about the world, the way we think about ourselves, and most of that is just things that we've picked up as we've grown up for safety. Whereas if you want to live a life beyond your wildest dreams, it's about taking the shackles off that we've used to feel safe.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I say this quite a lot, and I've said this quite a few times, but I also feel that comparison is the thief of all joy. I think we live in a society and a world now with all this social media and stuff where people will look at someone else, or they'll look at your career, or they'll look at someone else's career and they'll go, oh, I wanted to achieve that, I could have done that. Stop comparing yourself to someone else. We're all very different. Focus on a clearer and better mindset, and you will be able to achieve other things and your full potential. What would you say the biggest mental challenges are that men face after life-changing injuries? Because obviously you've sustained, with the concussion, what would you say the biggest mental challenge is?
I think a lot of it is grief. That is one of the things that you have to realize that is a part of the human experience when you lose something. If you have a big injury, you are losing the game. You're losing a job, whatever it is, what you were doing. day to day and how you identify with that, like your identity around that, you are losing that. So there's a lot of sadness, there's a lot of grief within that. And for me, in my experience, I had to realize that a lot of that grief caused anxiety as well. Because I think as human beings, we have the natural ability to love. We're so it's so baked within us to love. However, to love something is to risk. Because ultimately you're going to lose whatever you love. And I
Yeah.
think about that in essence with my first ever love, apart from my family, was rugby league.
Yeah.
And I risked and I loved that, and ultimately I lost it, and that's where the anxiety comes.
Yeah.
And I relate it to sport when you see a team that go out and play and they blow another team off the field, and they say, we all sort of see that they have quote unquote nothing to lose.
Mm.
It's because they're okay with the fear of loss. They're
Mm.
okay with giving it everything and not having to get something expectant in return.
Yeah.
So that's how I'd qualify that losing something or the injury is a lot of grief, and it's about your relationship to risk and love again, really.
Yeah, and I can understand that. It's when it takes up such a big part of your life, and you lose that. It's kind of like you said, loss of identity, the anxiety, that loss. How does therapy, coaching, and your podcast work together to support men?
I think the podcasts we have or I've had have been very, very vulnerable. So there's conversations on there which are open and wide ranging, um, and that tends to intersect with the option for therapy. That tends to intersect with the option for counselling, and I think men, when they engage with something, and especially men that have had a sporting mind and a nature, as soon as they turn to something where they feel like it's going to help them to get better,
Mm.
or it's going to help them to be a better dad or a husband or a better human being, um, they see that as the thing that is going to support
Yeah.
them, and they go for it from there.
Yeah, that's really nice. Yeah, and it's obviously, like you said, that leads back to the mindset, doesn't it? And it leads back to, men wanting to just be better in any way, shape or form. So, no, I like that. And the vulnerability on the podcast is super important, because I think as men, sometimes we need someone to show us that it's okay, or potentially that someone else has felt a similar way to us, for us to then feel comfortable to do it. It's not, I wouldn't say it's a sheep mentality, but I would say it's oh, you feel similar? Okay, well, that's funny because I actually feel similar to you. And, it then kind of causes that snowball effect, doesn't it? And people then start to talk and open up and be more comfortable. So,
yeah, totally. And in essence, like vulnerability, Brené Brown, who's done 20 years of research on shame and vulnerability and courage, who states that vulnerability is the best measure of courage, because in essence, vulnerability is uncertainty, risk, and emotional exposure. So when we have men around us, when we have people around us that are being vulnerable, that actually allows us to do the same. That makes us feel safer. There's less risk in it for us to do the same,
yeah,
and that's where we find where we find true well-being and happiness.
Okay, nice. What mindset tools from Mentality can our listeners start using today?
That's a good question. I wouldn't say it'd be a tool. I'd say it's a way of life.
Okay.
I'd say it's understanding a way of being in the world, which transforms your world. Like if you think about the world that occurs to you when you, for instance, I don't do this many times, but when you pick up a hammer, you're gonna see nails, like, and it's about the mode in which you choose to live life. What has been successful for me in life and got me to be a captain of Leeds Rhinos and I won a load of trophies, was scaring myself to death to do it and to play well and to be good. And however, it also has cost a lot. And I think about the way that I live life now is that I'm already whole, I'm already complete, I'm already enough. So that, in essence, is the way that I approach life, and the way that I am with uncomfortable emotions is that it's just a part of it, rather than it being an issue and rather than it being a burden.
Yeah, I like that.
So, it's a much easier way to manage life there. And as soon as I come out of that and I have feelings of uncertainty and fear and shame, I just bring myself back to that mode. And then what I see in the world changes from who I be in the world.
Okay. I mean, I just appreciate you, by the way, and your honesty and your authenticity and all of this today. This is a good chat. Like I'm enjoying this. And right, how can sports teams and workplaces better support concussion individuals and survivors of it?
Yeah, I think for me, like, I think the thing that my mind goes to is like an understanding of fear, of psychological safety, and of choice, and how, in essence, that is where a lot of issues can be resolved for me. Like, obviously in rugby, people are going to get injured, people are going to get concussion.
Yeah.
And it's understanding that is obviously a factor. And I think at the same time, the more and more we feel safe around each other, the more and more we feel like we're aware of the risks, the more and more we have governance and ability to look after ourselves as human beings. That's for me is like the thing that I feel is like at the crux of a lot of stuff that we can put to good use.
Yeah, I agree. And final question, because we are a little bit short on time, my friend. What's next for Mentality? Have you got new content, partnerships, any new services? What's next?
I think Mentality, in combination with my own personal brand, we are actually excited to be working with different sporting organisations, and there's a huge thing that I'm really excited about coming up with the ECB, where we're going to be running a session on authentic leadership, which it's covering a lot of what we spoke about today, where we'll be rolling that out to county-wide, to county cricket.
Nice.
And there is more talks, more the people that I work with generally, like the creative and the sporting world. So it's more like, I guess, what would you say, business to business stuff.
Yeah.
In a way, more workshop stuff. And there's going to be some courses on my website on stevieward.co.uk very soon, which entail everything I'm speaking about, a 5-step process really to this way of being in this understanding.
Okay, amazing stuff. Right, Stevie, we are going to have to stop there, but thank you so much for your time, your vulnerability, your honesty. Where can people find you online? You've got websites, you've got social media. Yes. Where can people find you?
Yeah, you can find me at a username that I made when I was 16 years old. It's Steve_Ward. Steve_Ward. That's on Instagram, Twitter, and then you can find me on LinkedIn. I don't know how to tell you how to go there, but Stevie Ward, and it'll come up. stevieward.co.uk, mentality.co.uk.
Perfect.
And I'd love to hear from you. And if you send us an email, that'd be pretty beautiful. And I've loved speaking to you today as well, my friend.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for your time. Yeah, I really appreciate you. I really appreciate your time. You have a great rest of your day, and I'll speak to you soon.
Thank you. Appreciate you, mate.
Cheers. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Right, guys, coming up after this short break, we'll be doing some listener questions.
FUBAR Radio. That Money Show with Gabriel Nussbaum on FUBAR Radio.
You might then see friends, family that require a little bit of support, financial advice. How do you go about sharing that advice, sharing that support without being condescending?
A practical tip that everyone can do that is low friction, send them financial content that you like. If you have a favorite content creator, if you see an article that you like, send them the video and just ask them, what do you think? And then that can begin a conversation around it.
You're listening to FUBAR Radio.
Download our app now to listen to your favourite shows, such as Access All Areas, Politics Uncensored, and The Dating Show. You can also download and catch up on previous episodes of all FUBAR shows, including our box sets. Plus, you can get in touch directly from within the app.
Just search for FUBAR Radio on the Apple and Google App Stores.
The FUBAR Radio app. Get it today.
Get it today.
1 in 5 people in the UK are disabled, and it's not always visible. So if we've made ourselves at home in priority spaces on the bus or train, surrounded by our shopping bags or bikes, we could be making it harder for the people who need that space more than us. So let's not forget about the people we share our journeys with, and keep priority spaces clear for others. Remember, it's everyone's journey.
When it comes to heart attacks, you might be surprised to hear the symptoms don't always feel severe. You could experience a squeezing across the chest, a feeling of unease, a sense something's not quite right. Don't be tempted to dismiss the signs and wait to see what happens. The faster you seek medical help, the better your chances. It's never too early to call 999 and describe your symptoms. Your NHS is here for you.
Couple Goals with Sophie Kasai and Jordan Brooke.
When is too early to say I love you? Soph said it the night we met.
Yeah. I did. Right, okay, right. Let's just clear this up, right? When I said I love you, I remember I said it in the car.
In the cab, yeah.
In the cab, and I was like, oh my God, I love you.
Yeah, well, that was the day I made you my girlfriend, wasn't it?
Yeah. And I said I love you, and you were like, I love you too. And I was like, I love you, 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 I love you so much, I love you so much, oh my God, I love you.
What the Hell with Georges Berthonneau, exclusively on FUBAR Radio.
This is What the Health on FUBAR Radio with me, Georges Berthonneau. Now it's time for some listener questions. So, first question is from Sarah. I've been training 5 days a week, but I still feel consistently fatigued. Am I overtraining, or could it be sleep and diet? Sarah, it could probably be all three, if I'm honest with you. Sleep is the most important thing for recovery. 7 to 9 hours. 8 is obviously great, but some people need 7, some people need 9, some people need 8. So that's important. Are you keto? Are you cutting out carbs because you've been told that it's magically going to help you overnight? Well, if you're low on carbs, I'd probably say get some carbs in you and make sure you're eating enough. If you are fatigued and you're in a calorie deficit, try and up your food just a little bit and a little bit and a little bit until you stop losing weight, and then you can start dropping it again a little bit until you obviously improve your fatigue levels, and potentially you are overtraining. But again, I don't know enough about your training program, so hopefully that helps. Jake says, I've been eating clean and doing cardio, but I can't seem to lose the last 10 pounds. What else should I look at? Well, scientifically, if you are not losing the weight, you aren't eating in enough of a deficit, Jake. So, and just because you eat clean doesn't mean anything. Because technically, if you ate 10,000 calories of clean food or 10,000 calories of not clean food, technically, you're in a surplus. So it doesn't really matter if it's clean, dirty, whatever you want to refer to it as. It doesn't matter. The most important thing is a calorie deficit. I would avoid cardio and I would stick to weight training, as it's scientifically backed to be the best thing for fat loss. Obviously, if you're looking to lose 10 pounds of fat, then this is vital for you, weight training. But also, cardio can cause inflammation if you're going on longer runs, but also do not be doing exercise to help promote your fat loss. You should be using weight training for fat loss, yes, but the calorie deficit needs to be the main focus and the main drive. Hope that helps. Emma I've just started lifting and want to build strength without bulking up. How often should I train and what should I focus on? If you're a beginner, 3 times a week, 3 sets of 8 to 12 reps is fantastic. Resistance machines, free weights are a little bit more complicated, but resistance machines are a great start. You say you don't want to bulk up. Technically, you're not going to bulk up overnight, but building muscle tissue is going to help you live longer. It's going to help you be stronger. It's also going to help you, because Emma, I'm assuming you are female. Obviously, assumption is the root of all evil, but I'm assuming from your name that is going to help you with any sort of bone issues that you might have, because women are more susceptible to them. So yeah, strength training is super important, and don't worry about getting bulky, because you're not going to just get bulky overnight. And Tom says, I've totally lost motivation to train, even though I know it helps my mental health. Any advice? Tom, discipline is the most important thing. If you're training for your mental health, then my biggest piece of advice is you need it. So you should do it. If you don't want to train, go for a walk, eat a better meal, and just go from there. And guys, that's just a massive thank you from me today and our guests, Tom and Stevie. A reminder, you guys can download the app and listen each week, and you can follow us on social media. We are What the Health Show on Instagram. If you are struggling with any of your health and fitness goals, I provide a top tier coaching service, which is no BS problem solving, and I will hold your hand every step of the way. If you're interested in this, please reach out at gb.fitness.health or at Georges Bert on Instagram. Also, the show is available to listen back to on all good podcasting platforms. As always, we are back next week at 11 a.m. for another jam-packed show. A massive thank you from me. I'm Georges. Thanks for listening. Happy hump day. Love you. Bye.
FUBAR Radio.